Hi, this is Sana from Ready and Thriving, and today we're going to make a super quick and easy pie for one. So it's always nice to have a nice hot dessert, and when you're cooking for just one or for two, sometimes it feels like you're just cooking too much to make a giant cake or to make a whole fruit pie, but you can make pie for one, easy peasy. The real main thing is just, go out, invest in buying some smaller pie tins and some smaller things to bake in. This is about a 5.5 inch, so somewhere between 5 and 6. There's nothing precious about the exact size, inch pie pan. So that's about 12 to 15 centimeters. And it's big enough that we can cook a lot of different things in here. So we can, do gratins, lots of different things we can use this for. So this is the super easy version. So we're just going to have a pie crust, and in this case, even a ready-made pie filling. But of course, pie fillings are also really easy to whip up just on the stovetop. Some fruit, some sugar, and put those together. So don't be afraid of that too. So I've got pie crust here. You can choose shop-bought, or you can go ahead and make it. It's really quite easy and inexpensive to do. So I've rolled this out to 2 millimeters, and I know that because I've got the guides on the rolling pin. Makes it super simple. So what we'll do is take this now pie pan, and we'll cut out a circle, and I'll leave about an inch, so 2 to 3 centimeters around it. I'd say about 3 centimeters around it, because we want it to go up and then over and create a rim on this. And we will have some extra pie filling if you're making just a standard size of dough to make a single layer pie. You will have some extra, so we'll use this for the top. We will not get rid of that. So I've just cut that out, a circle around. We'll now take this and we'll place this carefully into the pie pan. Super simple. Now, if we do have any issues getting it into corners, you can just use part of this dough to help to push it in. That's just a little gentler way to get that to go inside. So now we've got a nice kind of floppy top, which we will use to seal in the top and make a nice edge as well. And then in this case, pie filling, because I just want to make this super quick and be enjoying it. Now the nice thing is with the pie fillings is that perhaps because they want you to buy 2 cans for when you make a full pie, often when you buy the ready-made, it's actually quite good for a pie that's built for 1 or 2. So you can see it is kind of heaping, which is, not a bad thing. We just wanted to make sure to have enough of that crust around there to be able to capture that and not have it go over. Now I do want to do something with this to make a top for it, and we'll make it a little bit fancy with kind of a real quick and easy kind of basket weave. So we'll just kind of straighten this out so it's more of a strand, and then start to lay this across. And I won't go ahead and weave all the way through, because again, I just really would like to make a quick and easy pie. But I will make that kind of checkerboard pattern across, and there's basically just enough to be able to do that. So I'll just use basically the whole amount. That would have been the amount of dough to use if I was just making a simple pie, full size, traditional size. So now I've got that checkerboard pattern, and now I'll fold over the edge and crimp that edge in. Remember, what I want to do is create a nice kind of well here for the crust. It'll make it nice and delicious for us to be able to have nice crunchy bits. but it will also kind of keep some of that filling from pouring over and keep it nice and neat. So just doing a little crimping. You know, everyone has their own kind of crimping style. Just use your fingers, get those pinched edges in, and make that kind of well around the edge. The main goal with the crimping is to keep it all in place, to make those kind of ridges that create the nice crunchy parts, to hold it together securely, and to look beautiful. So do it however you like it. If you're not feeling really coordinated about it or confident with it, you could also just use a fork. It makes a very uniform edge around it, and it's super easy to just stick things down together. So I'm done, right? So you watched live how much time that took. Almost done. So before I started, I went ahead and preheated the oven for 400 degrees or 375 fan in Fahrenheit, so we're good to go. I do like to, for all pies, put on a little bit of egg wash. It is not absolutely mandatory, so if I want to just put that in there, half pie, that's fine. But if I do have that option, it doesn't take long, and I will do that this time because it does add an extra crunchy taste and texture to the pie, and also makes it look even that much better because you get that nice golden brown. It also frankly helps you to know when everything is finished. You do want to add an egg wash. What is an egg wash? It's an egg. You just spread it on the top. Okay, that sounds simple, but there are different ways to do it, of course. Some of you may know about using milk. Milk is really better to soften things, so breads and things like that. Milk can be really nice. I use milk on top of cinnamon rolls, for example. Really, really nice. Egg, instead, by contrast, will help to make things crispy and also nice and brown. Some people use only the egg white, and that is also fine. It doesn't make it quite as golden, but that's really the only difference. And egg white is particularly good for sealing things. So if you are trying to hold things together, using just the white can help you to get you there. But I like to use the full rich egg, may as well. Some people also, when you're cooking with an egg wash, may season it. And that would be really good for certain things. If you did see my power outage turnovers, you'll see that I seasoned that because I just really wanted to add some great oniony flavors. So putting a bit in there was a really great flavor enhancer. For this, we've got all the flavor we need. We've got cherry pie filling, we've got pastry. That's enough. But that said, I do have handy in my pantry a little bit of kind of decorating sugar, which is just kind of makes it extra tempting. So since I've got it, I may as well put it on. These kind of decorating sugars often have also a lid that helps you to just sprinkle those on. So we'll just do that, and that'll just add some more kind of crystallized loveliness. Now it's ready. Okay, so into the oven now for 20 minutes. We'll check on it, make sure that that's golden brown, and if it is, it'll come on out and be ready. Super quick note about where I put the pie in the oven. Most of the time, if you've been watching any of my other recipes, you see that for cakes and things, very important to put that on that middle rack for even baking. For pies, and particularly this where I have not blind baked the pastry beforehand, I actually really want that bottom to be nice and crispy. So I'll put it on kind of medium to lower shelf because that brings it closer to the bottom heat source. And that will then pump a little bit more of that heat into the bottom and just really ensure that we've got a great crispy bottom to our pie. Top tip for pie crusts of any sort are to keep them nice and thin. So I like 2 millimeters, or for something really bulky, maybe 3 millimeters. And a great tool for that is a type of rolling pin that actually has the measurements. It's just super nice to be able to make sure that it's uniform from side to side. Can also be really helpful for cookies, particularly if they're ones that you cook and then have to roll out the dough over and over again. That way you make sure that all the batches are consistent. Well, my nose led me back into the kitchen. It smells so amazing in here. I did check when the timer went off at about 20 minutes, and because we had so much filling in there, it just didn't look like it was done. So I added another 8 minutes in total. So now we're sitting at closer to 30 minutes, so 28 to 30 minutes, and now it looks perfect. So I'm going to take out the pie. So how did I know that it wasn't done? It was already golden on the top, especially around that edge of the pie crust. It was a little bit light for those center pieces of the crust, but there's an argument to be made that they were kind of golden. But what I didn't see was the filling starting to bubble up. And that's what you want to see, and that's what I've got now. Really is delicious, nice and warm. And so now we're just going to let this cool, because that is, that bubbling is, of course, basically boiling sugar. So not time to eat it yet. We'll let this cool, and then it'll be time for dessert. Look at that delicious hot pie for one. You can see it's ready with that bubbling fruit just peeking out, the nice golden brown. There's nothing like the delicious smell of a hot homemade pie. Time to try it. You can see it's big enough for 2 to share, or for 1 to enjoy over a couple of nights. Delicious.